Thank you very much. I'm Mary Smith. I'm the Assistant Deputy Commissioner for Academic Planning and Policy, and I'm happy to be here today to share with you some information about our Tuning Texas project and the development of the voluntary transfer compacts, the statewide voluntary transfer compacts. So let me get us started here. Now, a lot of you have already hopefully know about these because you have faculty that are on our tuning committees. But in a nutshell, the development of these transfer compacts is part of a Lumina-supported grant initiative with the coordinating board. Part of the project involves a faculty-led effort to define what a discipline actually means and to make the transfer between 2- and 4-year institutions more efficient and more understandable for students who are interested in majoring in that particular discipline. As you all know, right now, we have lots of these articulation agreements, but most of them are one-to-one, and they can be confusing for students and for parents and for counselors, and there truly are hundreds of these one-to-one articulation agreements across the state. The idea of the statewide agreement that can be voluntarily entered into by multiple institutions will eliminate the need for these multiple one-to-one articulation agreements between institutions. And they also will help us, we hope, in the problem that we have in our state is students who take lots of different classes from lots of different institutions, quote unquote, the swirling students. So what happens is that the student might start in a particular institution with the intention of transferring to an institution with which that institution has an articulation agreement, and then that student transfers to a different institution, and therefore they lose semester credit hours as a result. So the idea is, of course, that one agreement, if it's for the same program or a similar program, could be entered into by multiple institutions simultaneously, so that all those institutions wouldn't have to have these one-to-one articulation agreements. Now, part of the process of this is, remember, the big news is faculty-led, and the part of it is identifying the competencies that are needed for a discipline, specifically what a student really should know and understand and be able to do when they get a degree, and at various points along the path to getting that degree. So what happens is that the professors identify the common lower division courses that they believe are necessary for a student to be successful in the upper division in that particular discipline. And then we collect syllabi for that course from all across the state, and the professors compare and contrast those syllabi, getting common elements and not so common elements, and then finally getting to a consensus course description and consensus learning outcomes for that course. And then what happens is that after the normal approval process, they're submitted to the Academic Course Guide Manual as a body of work of the Tuning Oversight Council, and then the Academic Course Guide Manual Committee, same basic process, 30-day comment period, all the comments are gathered and are attended to by a subcommittee of the council, and then eventually, if they're approved by the Academic Course Guide Manual Committee, will become a part of the Academic Course Guide Manual for statewide use. Now, the institutions that actually sign on to this compact, both the 2-year and the 4-year institutions, agree that they're going to be offering the courses that are consistent with the descriptions and the student learning outcomes that are in the Academic Course Guide Manual. Now, of course, for the 2-year institutions, you pretty much have to adhere to the Academic Course Guide Manual, but the 4-year institutions don't necessarily have to do that. So that's the big part of these transfer compacts, when the institution signs on. So the idea, of course, is that when the student completes a course at one institution that signed on to the compact, then they can transfer the course, and that course applies to the major, as long as the course is actually a part of the curriculum for the university. There are rules that have now been associated with these transfer compacts. There's rule changes specifically with respect to academic associate degrees and academic certificates. I encourage you to look up Chapter 9 and Subchapter J for these specific rules, and we can talk to them a little bit when we have our question and answer period. But in the interest of time, I'm just going to go in and explain where we are currently with these transfer compacts. The first one, I think pretty much everybody is aware of. It's the Mechanical Engineering Transfer Compact that was released in 2009. But since then, we've released 3 more, the Civil, Electrical, and Industrial Engineering Transfer Compacts, and now we have 2 additional engineering disciplines that are going to be released next week, chemical engineering and biomedical engineering. So we'll have 6 engineering disciplines that have specific transfer compacts. And last time we branched into a couple of regular science areas, biology and chemistry. Those 4 disciplines will be released and distributed to presidents and chancellors before Thanksgiving of this year. We're now in the middle of what we're calling Tuning 2012, which includes the Tuning Oversight Council for Mathematics, Business, Computer and Information Sciences, and Management Information Systems. Those compacts will be released in November of 2013, we anticipate, and year 4 of our Tuning Texas initiative will begin in January of 2013. We're going to be really focusing and including developing and some uses of how to actually assess the progress that is being made in terms of the learning outcomes. So that'll be the last year of our grant project, at least at this point. Now, you won't be able to see this too well from where you're sitting, but this is the community college program of study for transfer to a civil engineering program. And it shows the students and their counselors and their parents and the professors the specific courses students really should take at the community college level to be prepared for coursework in civil engineering at a university. And as you can see, it's very specific, as is the actual prerequisite flow chart for the civil engineering curriculum. This one shows the students the most appropriate pathway to completing those classes so that they will be successful in the upper division. These are the institutions to date that have agreed to participate in one or more of the 4 compacts that have already been released: civil, electrical, industrial, and mechanical engineering. And as you can imagine, it has eliminated the need for hundreds of institution-to-institution articulation agreements among all these signatory institutions. The other big outcome, of course, is the horizontal and vertical curriculum alignment, so that students that start wherever they start can actually transfer and be successful in the subsequent courses in the curriculum. And of course, they're presented with a coherent curriculum so that they can guide their own path. So for more information, you're very welcome to contact me. My phone number is 427-6213, and there's my email. I also encourage you to check out, if you haven't already done so, our Tuning Texas website. It has all the information that you would ever want about this project, and in addition, it also has the voluntary statewide compact for engineering for the 4 disciplines, and you'll see in about a week or so that it'll have the next 4 disciplines on available for participation. And with that, I thank you, and I'm going to turn this over to James Goman.